Hi, right-wing media. Thank goodness you've got your fingers on the pulse. Because, I've woken up to another morning of headlines about immigration, because we can't speak about that enough, can we? Because it's going to change overnight with you talking about it all the time. It's not like it just stokes division within the country. And now the thing about the prisoners, the early release, although interesting, isn't it? Now there's a letter has been revealed that was sent by the police officers, the commissioners, to Rishi Sunak in June, saying this had to happen. There was no choice. Such was the situation. But, you don't really want to focus on that, because we should be focusing on the risk of the prisoner release, a risk that actually the government have already admitted and have been quite clear about. They don't like it, but what else can they do? Their hands are tied. And according to all the evidence, that is actually true. But I guess it's very difficult for us to understand a government that is speaking the truth, as opposed to lying and you guys printing it. So it's good to see that. I'm curious about the ongoing saga about the public school funding. The parents that are so concerned about it because they can't afford the extra VAT have got enough money to take the government to court. Call me old-fashioned, but that seems a little bit odd to me, because that's going to cost thousands of pounds. They could have saved that money and put it into the school fees that might increase, which, let's not forget, because those schools are public, they're businesses, aren't they? Which means they want to make a profit. They could reduce their profit in order to actually absorb the cost. Anyway, it doesn't matter, because it's not like it's a capitalist society that privileges certain people. But, I wonder what would have happened had you championed the case for state schools over the years, as much as you've championed public schools over the last, 6 months? Because that might be a very different outcome, wouldn't it? The fact that we still have state schools that haven't been rebuilt because of the RAC crisis, that would be good. Or the fact that our SEN children in state schools are being let down, not by the schools, not by the teachers, but by the system. But you don't seem to care about that, because you're just worried about the SEN children in the public schools. And I just wonder why. Because also, which sort of ties into that, we've also got 500,000 children on a waiting list for CAMHS. Now, forgive me for stating the obvious, but a lot of those children will also be SEN children. And I wonder why you're okay with us letting down state school children, but public school children needing to find a little bit more money. That is a major crisis that takes all your column inches. It's just a bit bizarre, isn't it? And then, the constant stream of what is Keir Starmer doing, but it's like, what is Keir Starmer doing about all the stuff that the Tories should have sorted out, which is also the stuff that the Tories messed up. So he's being lambasted for not sorting out Grenfell, even though it's been 7 years and the Tories have done nothing. Like, why haven't those other tower blocks that have got that same dangerous cladding on it? That shouldn't even be an issue now, surely. But now it's his issue, and you're getting cross with him for not doing it quick enough. And forgive me for saying this, it's almost like you want us to think the Tories were great and Labour are terrible. That's what it feels like. And I'm sure that's not true, because you are just the spokespeople, aren't you? But you don't seem to be holding the Tories to account. Like, where's all the pages about the investigative work around the £15 billion worth that they're now saying were basically corrupt deals done during COVID? Like, where are your investigative journalists? Because they don't seem to be doing very much other than spinning the narrative. It is almost like we have a media in the UK deliberately undermining our government. I mean, that can't be the case. Can it? As you were.